even when the sun's warm. Only put our hands up when they guns drawn. They simply don't feel us. They wanna put 3 in our chest like the hiccups. Young, black, and gifted, and they still judge me. I could give a damn as long as my daughters love me. Bridget Byrne, you can hear it in my cadence. Tell a man the truth, he quick to say that you hate him. They think it happens overnight. Nah, it takes patience. These women come forth, family dies in this paper. Never judge before you love. Guilty before innocent when you the same color as us. German engineering when I steer it. Always run directly towards it, even when you fear it. The stress get heavy, especially when you near it. I'm talking about your goals, and when you feel it in your soul, you close.
Hey son, you are the best thing that could have ever happened to me. November 11, 1987. I'm so proud of you and all of your accomplishments as a dad and a provider. You've been a great son.
Made my own way. I don't need no handouts. Tell a nigga no. Now he not your man now. The hate start showing. You hear it in they quotes. Niggas be confused, claiming that they woke. 2020 luxury. With the bucket seats. Love out the A1 who stuck with me. From the mud and fuck with me. Gotta love bricks, cause she rolled and she loved it. And she stayed down, that's what's up to me. Doing 60 and a 45. I'ma need a clone just to count up all these blessings.
Grand rising to you. Grand rising to you. Grand rising to you. Grand rising. Welcome back to the Earth Realm. Here we are again, about to get into the part 2 of Wake Up. I'm going to be with you for some time today because I got a lot to cover. There's a lot that's happened that you're not going to see on the news that you need to know. You may find out that yesterday, 300 white men, angry white men, went to the courthouse in Lafayette, Louisiana to demand why they were allowing the NFAC to come to Lafayette. Just like the old days, white folks got together in a lynch mob and went to the courthouse to find, but that didn't make the news. You didn't hear nothing about that. Not at all. But I'm still waiting to hear from CNN about that bullshit story they put in about us this morning. Oh, so help me. I would make them the center of all of my rage for the next 2-3 weeks and make sure that I expose them for all the shit that they don't think I know about them. You're not going to paint this narrative that we have anything to do with this election. We're not protesters or demonstrators. You like to lift shit off of Instagram, lift this and put it in a news story. Stop lying on us. Because remember, every group that ever came before us, even the ones that started off peacefully, eventually started doing shit. Now, do I have to silence everyone again? Because I want everyone to be focused on what we want. Someone said, turn it off. Not a problem. You all no longer can talk. Goodbye. We're back for the second half. Young men, I'm talking to only the young men. We're talking only to the young men. Moderators in the room, note those accounts so we can block them out permanently. You know how we do, and they are here. So you thought that you got away. No, you didn't. We just capture you and block you out of here like we block you from every other place that we got. If you're wondering what we're doing over here, the official Grandmaster J page is in IG jail for another 20 some odd days. We'll be back over there as soon as this suspension lifts, whatever you want to call it. But I'm jumping back into my teachings and I'm talking only to the young men this morning. Sisters, you can hang around if you want to learn, if you want your sons to learn some things that is not their fault, that weren't taught to them. But I know you have your hands full, and a lot of these young brothers, 18 to 21, have joined us now. I lowered the age to join the NFAC, and the response has been phenomenal. And I'm not going to say I wasn't surprised, trying to get our numbers up into the million so we can begin to even think about having 1 million guns to a assembly somewhere. If your state doesn't have open carry, please stop writing me and making suggestions about you can do it here. No, you can't, period. So we're not going to put people in that situation. Now, when I left off, I was talking about the tenets and the advice from the ancient ones about what it takes and what you should expect and what the responsibilities are to have a son and sons for you to become a man. When I left off, the last thing that I said, and I'm going to back up because it needs to be said, It says that the first step in begetting worthy sons is to make a wise choice of their mother. Riches and position a father may not be able to give his son, but example and good counsel, discipline, and a guiding hand into manhood can be given by every father. These are the birthright of every son. It says, cursed be the despicable man who denies his own son his birthright. No man has ever turned from his father and departed from his household because he was not given riches and possessions. But many men have turned away from their fathers because they did not receive proper instruction, guidance, and opportunity. This is in the book. I'm not making it up. Do your research. Chastisement in the home is a proper preparation for the discipline of life. As they used to tell me when I was growing up, if it's better you get your ass whipped at home by somebody who loves you than it happens in the street with somebody who don't know you. They may kill you. It is not sufficient. There is no way other than a wise and proper upbringing than a youngster that can be prepared for life. It says it is not sufficient that a son be as good a man as his father. Listen to this. Life progresses, and he must be a better one than his father. Every young man, your goal is not to be just like your father. Don't let somebody tell you, you just like your daddy. You want your job because we're progressing. We are progressive. We improve. We evolve. The same way you shouldn't be the same person you was 5 years ago. I'm not the same person I was 5 years ago. Hell, I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. If I ran into the person I was 15 years ago, I have to sit him down and get him straight. So it should be progressive. No, you should be better than the one before you. And your son should be better than you. So think like that your seed is not just something that your baby mama got. It is someone that you have to cultivate to be better than you. Whether your son grows up to be a blessing or a curse to his father, or whether he becomes useful or worthless, depends entirely upon your wisdom, your guidance, and your care. And that is what I'm giving you this morning, young man. I'm giving you wisdom. I'm giving you guidance. And I'm giving you a caring attitude that someone probably has not given to you. I've said this many times. If no one has ever told you that you are loved just because of who you are, not because of who they want you to be, you are loved. By this, brother, I can say that. You are my kind. I'm not going to let people continue to say we're all alike. We're not all alike. If he wanted us all to be alike, we all look alike. We're not. We're different. And when it comes to melanated people, those of us who have melanin, it's the key to everything. Salute to Dr. Layla Africa. Salute to Dr. Sebi. It is the melanin that makes you different. It is the melanin that makes you a target. It is the melanin is why they steal your organs. It is the melanin why they want to try vaccines out on you. It is the melanin. It goes on to say, chastise him with restraint, for too much punishment reveals defective upbringing. Listen to this. If you beat your kids because they did something crazy, okay, that's cool. But if you go overboard with it, that says something about you. That means that you wasn't brought up right. It says guide, but never drive. It says guide, but never drive. Always treat his mother with respect and affection. For if you find contentment and joy with your wife, he will find them with his. You see, a man treats a woman the way he's seen men treat women. If you see your father loving your mother, protecting your mother, making you respect your mother, when he goes out in the street, he is going to treat women the same way. He's going to respect the woman. He's going to respect another man's woman. He's going to respect his own daughter. He's going to respect other women. He's going to be mindful. He's also going to protect his woman. He's going to protect other women. He's going to be standing around talking about, oh, I can't believe they whipping her ass. Oh my God. Are you looking at this? Oh, there ain't gonna be no shit like that. He's going to do the things he saw done because he's seen them. Remember, I said he imitates everything. Remember that your son will imitate you in word and in action. He gonna say what you said. He gonna do what you did. So what kind of blueprint are you leaving? Young men, are you listening to me this morning? Goes on to say, leave him not with a heritage of sorrow. You see, it's bad enough that a lot of us don't leave any wealth. Even some of the richest black men in recent history, their wealth has gone back to white people. There's always a fight over their estate. White people don't have that problem because they leave stuff to businesses and they leave it to generations, and everybody got the story that they got from their mama or their daddy. Black people ain't doing that. We need to get back to that. Don't leave an inheritance of sorrow. So shall he grow in comeliness and strength, a man of honor, noble and straightforward in his ways, a real man. He shall rise above lesser men. Listen to this very carefully. He shall rise above lesser men as a great oak tree rises above the brushwood. And though he may have failed at all else, this achievement will set the crown of success on your life. Listen to what he said. Your son, some of you young men are going to rise above all of your contemporaries. Some of you are going to stand out above the rest. Some of you are going to become leaders. And when you do that, your father will sit back and say, I don't know how he did it. I don't know how he got there. I know he made some mistakes. I know he took some wrong turns. But in the end, look what he did. He has risen above all of his contemporaries. He has made me proud to say that he is my son. It goes on. I'm reading out of the book. It says, teach your son manly ways, for he is destined first of all and above all to be a man. Leave him not to acquire his nature in the chambers of women. A son needs to be the firm guiding hand of a man, for that of a woman is too soft. Now I know some people done got in their feelings because they didn't know that this was written 5,000 years ago and it is so applicable today. It says, teach your son manly ways, for he's destined. It is his destiny first of all and above all to be a man. Now look what we've done to ourselves. Leave him not to acquire his nature in the chambers of women. A son needs the firm guiding hand of a man, for that of a woman is too soft. Instruct him in the ways of discipline and self-control, that he may be the master of his life. If he becomes a follower of falsehood, a deceiver, or a hypocrite, then he is a memorial to your everlasting shame. Ooh. Ooh. Let me say that one more time. It says that if he becomes a follower of falsehood. All of y'all that's out there believing that bullshit they say about me, all of y'all who saying he's an agent and he works security for Trump, and all of y'all who believe that shit with no proof, show me the paycheck. Show me where I was on the payroll for the secret. Show me where I was even a fucking member. That's public information. Show me some proof. Anyone who believes any of this shit gonna get us all killed. He's just like the other guy that got everybody brought down. It says, if you become a follower of falsehood, I'm in the book. I'm right here in the book. A deceiver. If you become a deceiver, you are here making up lies, splicing shit together, trying to eat to feed your family. Or a hypocrite. Oh no, I'm down with the movement. I believe in liberation and black power. I believe that we should all, but I can't fuck with them though. You know, I don't know what they about. I don't rock with them. Black power. No, man, I don't fuck with this dude. I'm just, but hey, my people. I hang out with y'all white dudes. I'm cool with y'all. Black power. If you are a hypocrite, then you are a memorial to the everlasting shame of your father. You are a memorial. They say that you ain't just did the shit. You became a statue. Now, somebody said to me, well, Jay, what about the guns? The guns, Jay. Why do you have to have the guns? Y'all saw that. Have y'all seen the video where I went to when I went to Hasim Nazinga's funeral and they interviewed the Middle Eastern guy who had the shop and he was on the phone trying to call the police because he had never seen so many black people with guns legally. And they said, well, what's wrong? He was scared to death. I've never seen anything like this. Motherfucker, you ain't even from here. Matter of fact, y'all people ain't been free. Y'all got free in 64. Free. It says right here in the book, let me help y'all out. It says, instruct him in the bearing of arms and in the art of combat and defense. Let me say it again. It says, instruct him. Young men, are you listening? Instruct him in the bearing of arms and in the art of combat and defense. For what use is it to teach him wisdom and to instruct him in skill and show him a good way of life unless he has the ability to defend and retain those things? I have just shown you in the ancient scriptures why the NFAC has to be created first. Before we start rebuilding Black Wall Street, before we start talking about buying back the block, before y'all start talking about financial empowerment, before you start going to all these fucked up ass conferences and meaningless conversations y'all having with no teeth, you got to first be able to defend what you're doing. But that just seen confirmation right here in the book. But y'all don't want to do that, do you? Do you really? I mean, you know, maybe I was the only one that thought that my peoples was ready. Maybe that was just me. Maybe I was the only one sitting around saying, I done had it up to here. I know y'all did. Y'all out in the street marching around with the shit. That's all y'all want to do is walk around? Okay. Instruct him in the bearing of arms and in the art of combat and defense. For what use is it to teach him wisdom, to instruct him in skill, and show him a good way of life unless he also has the ability to defend and retain these things? It is not futile and not a pitfall for his feet to instruct him to defend the weak, to fight for justice, and to oppose the oppressor unless he has been given the ability and the strength to do so. Think about what I just said. Let me pose the question. Is it not futile? Is it not a pitfall to instruct him to defend the weak, to fight for justice, and to oppose the oppressor, unless he's given the ability and the strength to do it? I want you to go out here and fight for justice. No justice, no peace. That's what I want you to do. But I haven't taught you how. So that's why a lot of y'all go out and do what the fuck you seen us doing for the last 5, 10, 20 years, 60. I don't give a fuck how long. Because ain't nobody showed you the other way. But when somebody does come along to show you the other way, you don't want to do that because you've been brainwashed into thinking that black people and guns must be negative. They still running that same narrative on you right now. That's what CNN just did. And a lot of y'all gonna fall for it and fuck around and get a lot of innocent people killed. Young man, are you listening? Black boys, black young men, where are you? Would you send him against would you send him against a lion with a twig? That's what's in the book. Would you send him against a lion with a twig? Because that's what y'all doing. If you're not joining the NFAC after this, then you're just a victim. Are you going to instruct your son to fight for a cause and send him out to do combat unarmed? Would you give him possessions, home, and honor, and then deny him the skill to defend himself? The law decrees that every desirable thing must be struggled for and then defended when attained. Nothing that is good comes easily or is easily held. If you don't know what I'm reading, I'm in the book of Morals and Precepts. This was written 5,000 years ago for black people. These are black people talking. It was that important that they put it down in indestructible word. They don't teach you this in the slave master church, do you? Somebody say, unveil the secrets, black man. I'm going to say it again. The law decrees that every desirable thing must be struggled for. They're not going to let us just walk out of here, y'all. They're not going to let us have nothing that we keep crying about that we want. Remember, anything that comes to you easy is not what you're supposed to have. It says it has to be struggled for. And then you got to fight to keep it. Give your son confidence in himself and in his people. Give him pride in his nation and in his kinfolk. I'm done. I'm going to read this. See that? You can't get in these ancient texts and it not blow you away. They don't make a mystery. They tell you the truth. It's liberating, isn't it? It says, give your son confidence. Young man, have confidence in yourself. Stop letting people tell you what you're not and you tell them what you are. Stop letting people tell you about your people what they ain't and you tell them what they is. Stop telling people that you ain't got nothing to be proud of and tell them I'm proud just because I exist. And tell them if I'm proud of me and I'm proud of my kinfolk, we might not be perfect, but damn it, look, I'm a jag and he's just a jag that needs some work. Instill into him by example the love of learning. If he lacks intelligence, he has hands. Teach him a skill. Teach him to bear all things manfully. The good with reserve, misfortune, and with fortitude, and with disaster, and with courage. Teach him to think, and to query, and to reason. Teach him to rely upon his own judgment, and be self-sufficient within himself. These are the things I'm giving to you this morning, young black men. Hold your head up, and listen to what I just said. Learn to think, and to ask questions, and to reason. Stop following the crowd. You know, one of the things that I find interesting is that there are some people who are so unintelligent that they believe that only weak-minded people follow the NFAC. These are some of the most intelligent, critically thinking people I've ever met, not counting the weak ones that have already been sifted away and can never come back. So you can stop picking up the phone, calling NFAC members, trying to talk them out of what they made up their mind to do. It shows your fear. It shows that you're a weakling, and anyone who follows you is a weakling also. But these young black men are not. You see, you can't tell them some bullshit and they're going to believe it. Because like they say, when you lean on your own understanding, you make a fool out of yourself. It's better to go get wisdom and find out. It goes on to say, and I'm going to wrap this up. It says, you cannot teach your son courage and duty, fortitude and affection, temperance and diligence. I'm going to say it again. You cannot teach your son courage, duty, fortitude and affection, temperance and diligence. These things he will inherit from you by example. Therefore, let your every word and deed in his presence be considered. Look what he said. You can't teach courage to him. He's going to look at you. Your children are looking at you right now, black man. And you're trying to talk like you brave, but they don't see no brave action. They hear you say you down for the movement, but they don't see you acting like you down for the movement. They hear you say how you ain't going to take no shit off nobody and how you'll bust your guns and fuck a nigga up. But they watching how you cower and you acquiesce to the white man. They're watching you. And every young black man that's listening to me this morning, I need you in the NFAC. All of you all that think that you don't have direction, I need you in the NFAC. All of you all that are thinking that we don't have any structure and we don't have a mission, but we got all this energy, I need you in the NFAC. I need the foundation of the future of the black nation in the NFAC. Sisters, y'all just got to park it for this morning. Young women, I will talk to you on another day. But today I'm talking to young black men. Yeah, I know some of y'all might be in gangs right now, but that's cool. You're still eligible to be in the NFAC. I know a lot of y'all don't know what's happening because ain't nobody gave you this type of information before. Some people said to see a man, you got to be a man. And a lot of y'all ain't never heard a man talk to you before. So the first time you hear it, you might get in your feelings and get offended. But that's not your nature. Where did you get that from? It says right here in the book, you had no business in the woman's chambers. It goes on to say that you're going to learn all of these things by example. The way of life you inherited was that made by the generation of your father. The life your sons will be made by the generations, by their generations, by your generations. Will they be reproach or will they be praise for you? We are creating the generation of tomorrow. The same way, young man, your children will create the generation of their tomorrow, if there's any of us left. Closing the book of morals and precepts, I give praise to the Most High. I'm going to speak one last time about this particular issue, and I'm going to also talk a little bit in detail about the formation that is going to occur in Lafayette, Louisiana on October the 3rd of this year. To all of the young men who have heard what I've said, you play this back. You play it back again and again. And when you get a chance, I want you to come and shake my hand and say, teach, black man. And then I will know that we have reached a point where we can begin to move forward. I am going to end this segment and I will come back, but I want to chop this segment off so that you can listen to this all by yourself. I'll be right back because we got some other stuff to talk about. NFAC, I need you on deck. Y'all have a great day, but I will see y'all back for part 3.